Hey Sagittarius, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily Gear. I'm a transformative energy healer and multidimensional channel. I'm here with your bi-weekly messages again this week, and I have cleverly put in a slide with my website information so I don't have to continuously repeat that, but this is where you can reach me in order to schedule a private session. Okay. So, hi, here I am. So what we're going to do today is look into the energies that are coming up for you guys for the next 2 weeks and see what's going to come out. Now this week, actually tomorrow, in fact, will be the full moon in Pisces. And so I would definitely recommend that you check out the reading that I did for the collective, which is on my site. Or which is on my YouTube page, excuse me, and listen to that as well. It's likely that some of those messages will come out in this reading too, okay? So I've already opened the records. I'm just going to ask Source for some messages for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the next 2 weeks, please. Messages for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I also want to mention that I did get back to doing the extended relationship readings because it was clear that a lot of you really like those. So the link to that is in the info box below. They're on Vimeo, and I have also included some of the questions that we answer in that reading so you know what you're getting into. Okay. All right. So, all right. Got some cards. Okay, well, the first card out here was the 10 of Arrows, and that relates to the 10 of Swords in the traditional tarot. And when this came up the other day for Libra, I think I was really getting this feeling of ancestry and of guidance by the ancestors. I'm getting a feeling for you guys, it's slightly different. It's a little bit more like you making some kind of, so it says instruction, okay? And I almost feel this sense of you guys making some important possibly even launching like an important mission in this life, or maybe new project, or starting a new relationship, or even just looking at something in a different way, because it is a pivotal entryway in your lifetime, and by entryway in your lifetime, I keep trying to avoid using the words that it is part of your soul contract. And yet I believe this is probably part of your soul contract. And it is this sort of guided by the ancestors feeling that makes me feel like this is bigger than just like a new start or something like that. This is something that is set in motion, like this bow, okay? Set in motion by a greater will. And the arrow itself is a representative of the will being projected out into reality, right? So I feel like there is an action that is sort of fated or destined to take place here, and it creates a change. It creates, it is, I almost want to say, an imposition of the will on the current situation. So that may mean a lot of different things for a lot of you, but what it is in the end, I think, is it does kind of align with the idea of the 10 of Swords, where there is a big ending and a new beginning, because this card, however, focuses on that new beginning where you are then launching your will into the world, possibly in a way that you have not done in the past. And the reason I say that is because the 5 of bows have come up here. has come up here. And in this deck, it's called Empowerment. Sorry about, I just noticed the picture. Sorry, guys. So I feel like there is a tapping into a vital power resource or source within you that maybe hasn't been, or is just being activated. I think, though, that that vital source is related to your heart chakra, okay? With the King of Vessels coming up here, which is the heron. The blue heron is actually really significant to me personally, oddly enough. I have no idea what the book says about this animal, but to me, there have been times when I have been seeking, and I have sort of seeking guidance, seeking information, seeking solace, seeking something. There was that empty feeling in my heart, right? And I remember being in Staten Island and walking down to this garden called the Healing Garden at the Snug Harbor Cultural Center. And I looked into the lake there, and there was this massive blue heron. And the second we made eye contact, it like took flight. It just like burst up out of the water and took flight. And to me, that was like, it was an empowering moment, oddly enough, like for this to have come out here. So I do feel like a lot of people are going through heart chakra activations at the moment. Have we not been through 8 million of these? But there is always sort of a wider girth that our hearts can reach toward. And that somehow this will that's being projected is through this heart space, right? And it is that feeling of taking flight, which also matches nicely with this idea of the arrow projection, okay? So I feel like there's something taking flight for you based upon the empowerment that you're experiencing this in the next 2 weeks. So whether that's related to this full moon or just related to things going on in your life, other aspects in your chart, or whatever it is, something is changing. And it's changing for the better. And it's creating a powerful alignment for you. And as I say that, I look down at this card, the Five of Vessels, which in this deck is Ecstasy. And as I said, a powerful alignment, I noticed the bowls at the points of the pentagram. And this deck is based upon the Celtic mythology, but also the Celtic ancient tradition. And that symbol is used to align things in a very powerful way. There's power behind that symbol for those who believe that there's power behind that symbol, right? It's almost, again, it's also a portal, and I was talking doorway. I just think that these next 2 weeks are a big deal for making big changes in your life, particularly when it is something that is aligned with your heart. I feel like I'm a broken record with always saying that, but that is what the messages continue to come through as. So people are not aligning. I can stop giving these messages if y'all will just start aligning with your hearts, okay? With your heart space. There is something about the will being channeled through the heart and being empowered in almost an ecstatic motion, making the change or making the move or making the, I don't know. I don't even know what. It feels like making a move, whether it's business or taking a risk. Could be taking a risk. However, I don't think it's completely unplanned or sort of anticipated. This has probably been on your mind for a while. And you have waited for the right time, waited to feel ready, waited for the instruction, waited to feel empowered. You've waited for that moment to take flight, okay? And the moment is here, and it may be that you will finally get that feeling in your heart chakra, in your heart space, and just know that it's going to be okay. I still feel like there's going to be some aspect of it that is a little bit of a leap of faith, and it's got to do with the way this woman looks in this card. She's just... she's got her eyes closed, and she's just moving with the ecstatic rhythms. And so I think that there will be a great heart pull toward whatever this is, whatever this shift is, whatever this change is. And it might not, honestly, might not manifest in the physical world. Here's the Fool card coming out. To clarify, or to validate all that I just said. Okay, for some of you, this is a relationship. Here's the Two of Vessels coming up here. And this is another kind of powerful alignment. This is alignment with another person, or it could be a group, or it could be a career, job, whatever. Something that you feel powerfully aligned with, that you feel the attraction to via the matching of the cups. Okay? And this is taking that risk to move toward it. The King of Arrows has come up here as well. We have another bird king showing up. So now we have the King of Cups, or King of Vessels, and the King of Arrows, which is like the King of Swords, showing up in this reading. And so I feel like that is the head balancing out the heart, that this is not an entirely compulsive action. This is definitely something that you have considered. I think that you have maybe been in fear about it for a while, because it might not seem like a logical, here we go, like a logical action. And yet what seems even more illogical is remaining stuck, because there is this stuck potent nature of this 10 of arrows. It's not moving until he releases that bow. And at that point, it becomes the ace, right? The single arrow. The Nine of Vessels also came out. Nine of Cups. In this card, generosity. Or in this deck, generosity. In the traditional tarot, it's all about wishes and dreams and making dreams come true. That has come out in a lot of the readings recently. So we know that there is a drive within us through the activation of the heart space to begin to make our dreams come true, to put simply. But what it really means is that we are beginning to align with the true nature of our hearts, our souls, whatever kind of corny ass way you want to put it. But the truth is that that is your true nature. All the fear that surrounds it is not your true nature. Okay. This is almost like, for me, it feels like a risk, or a it's almost an act of abandon, to abandon some of this like more logical thinking. Okay, the things that I think you've thought about this, and I don't think this is a total risk, but there is a part of you that's saying, all right, well, I'm going to decide to push aside my more conservative nature, and we're going to do this thing. Okay. Or at the very least, there's a recognition of that energy and the way that it aligns with the idealized state, or the ideal state. And it may be idealized. You know, part of this Pisces energy is going to be able going to be about understanding what is real versus what is not real, what is just imagination, okay? And that's a tough one, particularly for talking about in relationships, right? Because it involves another person with their own set of beliefs, their own limiting beliefs, their own way of projecting their own personal will with their own right to choose how they react and what they do and what they want in their lives, okay? This is the part where you decide what belongs in your life. And we've talked about that, especially, I think that was in the full moon reading. And it may be that recently or within the next 2 weeks, you will really begin to see that there is more beyond the tip of your nose than you have realized in the past. There's more out there than what you can reason and logically deduce. I just keep looking at this Fool card, and this came up in Libra's reading somewhere, and how she's about to sort of alight off of a cliff, trusting that this rainbow bridge will catch her. And that's kind of the energy here. It's trusting in something as magical, mystical, and elusive as the rainbow to carry you. And yet I don't see that this is a dangerous thing for you right now. I see that this is an important step in becoming aligned with your true nature, with your heart space, right? With the energy of the heart. The activation for you guys is not only in the heart, but it may also be surrounding your sense of self, your self-empowerment. Because I feel like there is a stuckness to your energy that is opening up. And I don't know that it's opening up all the way, okay? Some of you it will be. There are, for whatever reason, about 1 million Sagittarians in my life. So sometimes I feel that energy coming through, and I think some of you are very much stuck. Which is why this may be an internal thing for you right now. It might show up in your physical life, in the future, but this is nevertheless an important turning point, okay? Whether or not it's like actually taking place in your physical life. So I'm sure this is getting boring for you. I'm going to get some more messages here. More messages for Sagittarius, please. Holy shit, we are way over time. More messages for Sagittarius, please. Let's get some closing remarks, closing comments, and advice. Okay. Here is your Ace of Arrows. Here is your truth. Here is your released will. Okay. Once you shoot this arrow, it has been released in the world forever. Okay. To shine its light, to show its truth, to do its work, to do its worst, even. And it stands alone. It does not require the permission or support of anyone else. It is empowered in its own right, okay? And the thing that fuels it is that personal truth, which you are coming into contact with, and you are distilling the personal truth out of the dream and finding out via the heart where those things align. And that's going to be different for each one of you. And in the process of doing that, we have the bear, the great bear. And that is all about the reevaluation of, this is the Judgment card. It's the reevaluation of, again, what's in the dream, the truth versus the illusion, okay? That's very Piscean. That's very much a Piscean full moon thing. So I think that is a big energy that's going to be the energy that blows open this gate for you. But I feel it as a positive influence, even if there is some ending energy here with this 10 of Arrows showing up, just because I see all of this energy of empowerment and ecstasy and truth and attraction. New beginning, Okay, so that tells me that in a nutshell, you need to be willing to let go of the old in order to allow the new to begin to come to fruition. Um, I feel like your mental versus your heart energy during these 2 weeks is kind of balanced because we have both the king of vessels and the king of arrows here. So it's not as if you are too far in the head or too far in the heart, but you do need to be present in the now in order to follow the truth of it. Okay. And with this great bear, I feel like that keeps you honest about your truth. That helps you, even though it's kind of an ass kicking energy, it really does help you to stay in line and stay in alignment with what that truth is. And so being critical during these next 2 weeks is not a bad thing, but you need to be willing to equally honor the head and the heart. Okay. I hope that has been helpful, guys. We're going to jump over to Vimeo now to do the relationship reading. So I hope you'll join me over there. If not, then I will see you next time or in the weekly energy report. All right. Thanks again and talk to you soon. Bye.